Are you a player that is a defensive stopper? It's not really sexy, right? Is it, Nick? You don't really get a t-shirt that says defensive stopper and you go, I'm Draymond Green or I'm Rudy Gobert. Yeah, I wish I was Rudy Gobert. But defense is at least 50% of the game. Okay. You spend half the time trying to score and at least half the time trying to stop the other team from scoring. And if you are going to be a professional basketball player, you be better a exceptional defender. That's probably one of the best ways to give yourself the best shot of going pro. And that means taking pride on every defensive possession to stop that player and to help your team stop the other team from scoring. So whatever that is, so whether that's a rebound because you go back a step with a box out, because you put yourself in that right position, because you've obviously contested, and because firstly, the most fundamental point here is because you wanted to grab that rebound or you wanted to get that stop. One of the challenges that I have as a coach to players in the defensive end is, can you shut down one player? That's a challenge. Okay, because I don't give the message often to my players that you're supposed to. Well, I never do. You're supposed to shut down another team. Okay, that's a collective effort between 5 players. If I have 5 players and each one is willing to shut down one player that's similar size, hopefully, to them, one player that's similar sort of speed, perhaps, to them, because that's the best matchup we're finding, and you can put your best effort in to slow them down, to contest every single shot, to make their life as hard as possible when they're trying to get a bucket. Now we have a team that's probably going to be highly successful in that sort of way. And you can see already that there's teams in the professional league that don't have 5 players that have that mindset. You can get away with it with a couple, 1, 2, 3 elite defenders in that sort of sense. But if you want to go pro, you probably want to, and like you said in an earlier section here, that, you're probably not a 7-footer, 300 pounds in that sort of line up. So, you will want to be able to go out there and however big or small you are, be able to make, life hell for the other player that you're, matched up against, and pride yourself on the defensive end. And that would be a huge, attribute to your game.
Well, there's 2 things of logic that I guess I'd put in. So number one, it's quite demoralizing if you're a strong defensive team, right? And the amount of easy buckets that you create by pressuring, creating some turnovers, having a couple of easy layups in a game really helps your flow offensively, right? And even if you have a bad shooting night, but you created 8 to 10 points off layups or, easy transition buckets because of steals, you can, I guess, validate your offensive game and say, you know what, didn't shoot well, but I still had double digits, right? And that was actually done off the backbone of your defense. But then the second thing is you might be able to drop 30 or 40 points a night. But if you're a cone on defense and the other team figures that out and says, go at him every single time, and they score 20 to 30 points as well, your coach isn't oblivious to this, right? Your coach isn't going to look at it and say, well done, great shooting, and I'm going to ignore the defense where they got 10 easy layups off you. They will eventually have to make a decision. Now, maybe at lower levels, you know what? 5 people just called in sick. I've got no subs. Go for it. I can't do anything. Maybe I'll bench you for 5 minutes because you are our best offensive player, but you're hurting us defensively, and I'm trying to make an example out of that. But as you keep going, as you keep getting higher and higher and higher, that will get you pulled off the court, right? Because not every game is going to be a 30-point game. It's actually not a variable you can 100% guarantee. You might come across a team that has 7-footers everywhere, and all of a sudden, offense is so much harder than it once was. Maybe you didn't sleep well the night before, and now you're a little bit tired, and you don't have the legs underneath you. The defensive effort is actually something you could guarantee every single game, right? Your offense, you can't really guarantee. I've had games where I've scored 40 and I've had games where I've scored 5, right? I'm trying to score most of the time, but it just doesn't always flow like that. But defensively, when we're not tangibly looking at, I didn't have any steals and I didn't have any blocks, but what was your defensive effort, right? Did you have a hand up on every shot that you came across? Did you box out on rebounding? Did you communicate to your teammates? You do those things. It doesn't really matter about the box score. Coaches will notice that on a sustained level.